It seems like Isaiah Stewart is embracing the Detroit Pistons culture by acting tough and looking for problems on the court just like old players used to do. That formula helped the Pistons win 2 championships, but also earn the hate of the entire NBA world. They are years away from being contenders, but Stewart is already channeling his inner bad boy by going after several stars in the league. After chasing LeBron James on Sunday's game following an elbow from the King, Isaiah has been under scrutiny for his explosive temper. That's why Instagram page Bucket collected 6 prior moments where the young center did some questionable things that drew a big reaction from the victims and the fans. Shoved Giannis, bodied Griffin, kicked Luka, ripped Dwight's shorts, kicked LeBron, went after LeBron. Dallas Mavericks guard Luka Doncic receives a kick to the groin after driving the lane for a first-quarter layup against Detroit Pistons center Isaiah Stewart at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, April 21, 2021. You can feel the pain yourself by looking at Luka's face. On January 28, 2021 at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan, the Detroit Pistons won 107-92 over the Los Angeles Lakers. Isaiah Stewart brought a competitive edge to the floor, playing very physical with the Lakers' frontcourt and even getting into a few verbal spats with players. He almost kicked LeBron James when trying to rebound, and look how calm LeBron is. The 16th overall pick didn't back down from the challenge, and continued to go back and forth with the likes of Markieff Morris and Montrezl Harrell. On one sequence, Stewart and Harrell were hit with technical fouls, while Stewart even started chirping at LeBron James at one point. Just last season, Giannis Antetokounmpo had some words for a rookie Stewart after the center shoved the then-defending NBA MVP. He didn't appreciate that and approached Stewart after the game. The Greek freak went right at the newcomer, and the 19-year-old Stewart didn't let the 2-time reigning MVP intimidate him as he stood his ground and went eye-to-eye with Antetokounmpo. The 6'9" Stewart, drafted 16th overall in last year's NBA draft, is built tough and seems to show fearlessness. They needed to be separated before the situation escalated. Last season, it was a homecoming of sorts for Blake Griffin as the Detroit Pistons. His former team hosted the Brooklyn Nets inside Little Caesars Arena in Midtown Detroit. Unfortunately, it wasn't exactly the reunion Griffin was hoping for early on. Pistons rookie Isaiah Stewart got ejected early in the second period after throwing an elbow right at Griffin's grill. There is clearly no love lost between these two. We're not entirely sure about this, but it looks like Griffin and Stewart did not have the best of relationships during their time together as teammates. Then again, this could just be their competitive juices flowing. This season, in an extremely tense moment on the court, the Nets and Pistons were involved in an altercation that could have ended up much worse than it did. With roughly 2.5 minutes remaining in a 2-point game, Nets big man Blake Griffin got tangles up with young Pistons center Isaiah Stewart. What ensued was uncomfortable for everyone. It is hard to tell who is in the wrong here, as the camera is off of them when the scuffle first ensues. But once the camera is able to get them in the shot, it is pretty clear that for whatever reason, Stewart decided to make it hard for Griffin to get up off of the ground. LeBron James nearly caused the second malice at the Palace during the Los Angeles Lakers game against the Detroit Pistons on Sunday night after elbowing Pistons center Isaiah Stewart in the face. James and Stewart were each ejected from the game, while Russell Westbrook received a technical foul. The league announced on Monday that Lakers star LeBron James would be suspended 1 game without pay. Pistons big man Isaiah Stewart will be facing a 2-game suspension without pay. James elbowed Stewart in the face after a free throw in the third quarter, swinging at him in what looked like an attempt to shed off Stewart's box out. The elbow bloodied Stewart's face and caused a physical scrum led by the Pistons' big man, who tried to confront James. Several players and coaches held them both back. Westbrook tried to get close to Stewart, but was held back by two Lakers coaches. After James and Stewart were separated, Stewart charged back at James, but was held up by coaches and teammate Cade Cunningham. Then, after being moved to the opposite side of the court, Stewart made one last attempt to confront James face-to-face, knocking over a Pistons coach, but was restrained. When the game has ended, LeBron James reportedly tried to track down Isaiah Stewart's phone number following last night's Pistons-Lakers game to let him know the elbow was not intentional.